Miss Nimona was hoping you'd join her at the beach, wasn't she? She'd be ever so happy if you agreed to battle with her. I think I'm getting Clavel's voice down. Hello there, people who have access to the internet and who are currently using it to watch this video. My name is PunFood, or just Pun if you prefer. And, I'm gonna grab just these items real quick before we head down to fight Nimona. What did I want to say? Oh, yeah, despite this coming out, like, literally only a couple days after they announced Pokemon Legends Z to A, I don't really have any intention of really talking about any theories or anything regarding that game, even though this is a Pokemon Let's Play, because they just released a teaser. They didn't release, like, a full trailer yet. Yes, Nimona, I'll be there in a second. I just want to get this item. I think early game especially is when you need to get these items. But yeah, I'll just say that X and Y are my favorite games in the series, and I always feel like people never gave them a fair shot to, you know, even consider them, because they always viewed them as incomplete and whatnot. So I'm happy to finally be getting like a Pokemon Z of sorts to expand upon Kalos. I don't know that it'll improve any people's enjoyment of X and Y, but maybe it'll at least give people a better impression of Kalos and, you know, whatnot. And realize that it was us Pokemon fans that caused Game Freak to not deliver an expanded story in a potential, you know, third version or sequel game to X and Y, which, you know, they had planned. Anyway, let's go talk to Nimona. Hey, Nimona. Anyone can be a Pokemon trainer as long as they have Pokemon by their side. And it's our duty as trainers to help our Pokemon grow stronger through battle. So you ready to battle me, PunFood? Yes. Perfecto! I'm so excited. For this battle, I think I'll use Miss Nimona. I trust you remember that Master PunFood is wholly inexperienced in Pokemon battling. That's not true. I've beaten, like, you know, every Pokemon game, like, at least, not every Pokemon game, but I've beaten, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that right? With the DLCs and all that? 9, I guess. 10? 11? 11-ish. I've beaten like 11-ish Pokemon games multiple times, too. So, you know, I'm not that inexperienced. Whoops. Good call, Director. I was about to send out one of my usual partners right off the bat. I guess I'll take this chance to try out my new buddy instead. It seems like, Pokemon battles are something that she really... Let's just read the dialogue. Come on, PunFood, let's have us a fruitful battle. It seems like, you know, Pokemon battles and having fun are something that she really subscribes to, just like how, you know, you should subscribe. I know last part I said that I didn't really ask people to subscribe, but I'm going to try asking people to subscribe within, like, the first 4 minutes of the video and see if it helps people subscribe more. Maybe it will. Or maybe just hearing subscribe a bunch would, not be the best. And it would also cause me to skip reading the dialogue by accident. Whatever. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This is a very good battle, UI. So, we got our Pokemon down on the bottom left. With, you know, our nickname and HP. Then we have our opponent's Pokemon up at the top right with their level and their name, because they don't have nicknames, and their health bar, but we don't get to see their actual hit points. Though Quaxly probably has like 15 or 16, is my guess. Anyway, from here we can check status. This allows us to see any increases or decreases to our various stats, and also terrains, weathers, you know, other field effects. It also allows us to see our own abilities, and if we've battled our opponent before, I believe it allows you to see at least their typing. We then have our option for Pokemon, which will allow us to switch our Pokemon or check our Pokemon summaries and such during the middle of battle. We have our bag if we want to use items in battle, which I won't be doing. We can also run. In this game, you can actually run from trainers, but it will count as a loss. However, I don't think your Pokemon take damage. Like, they don't faint and send you to a Pokemon Center, I don't think. But it will count as a loss, and you'll pay the winner. Anyway, let's battle. From here, we have our moves. We can have 4 moves at a time. But remembering moves is super easy in this game, so don't worry about it too much. And then we could also press Y to look at our move info. This just covers up the battle to actually show us what we'll be doing. Scratch is 40 base power. It gives us a brief description, but it just mainly is there to list our physical specialist status, our power, and our accuracy, and our type of the move. It can also mention secondary effects, like lowering the defense stats. Leafage is just a basic grass attack, but we'll want to use it because of Stab, same type attack bonus. Sprigatito is a grass type, which means that our grass moves deal 1.5 times their normal damage. 3 times because Quaxly is a water type and weak to grass. Grass is strong against water, meaning that our grass moves do double damage on top of that 1.5 times, making it 3. So, even though it's 40 base power, we did a ton of damage. Our Scratch would do technically a third of that damage, meaning it probably wouldn't even take out Quaxly from here. Let's test that, though. Quaxly might not have that much. Yeah, it doesn't even take out Quaxly because, you know, it's doing 1 times its damage as opposed to 3. Also, Quaxly used Growl, which lowered our stats. It lowered our attack stat, meaning we are now doing 0.66 times the amount of damage we would normally do. I guess 0.67, because, like, you know, we're doing 2/3 our normal damage. So, basically, we're only doing 2 times with Leafage. Anyway, battle mechanics are rough. I can explain how stat boosts and lowering works at a later time. There's actually tutorials in the game for how that works that we might be doing. We probably will do that. Pokemon's a game that I really love, so I'm willing to do side quest stuff for it. Unlike Link's Awakening, where I'm not going to do the dungeon builder. Anyway, I'll probably read more of that dialogue for later fights. This one isn't too important. I mean, it's very important. It's our first win. Look at you, winning your first battle ever. You've got even more potential than I thought. You're going to be a strong trainer for sure. But now I want to try a different strategy. Let's go again. Just one more battle. Master Punfood and his Sprigatito are surely weary already from that last battle. Sorry, I got caught up in all the excitement. I'm really sorry, Punfood. Same to your Sprigatito, too. Don't encourage her. Don't worry about it. Alright, thanks, Punfood. You two seem to be becoming fast friends. You two seem to be becoming fast friends. Though you've only just met. Can I count on you to take your new schoolmate here under your wing, Miss Nimona? I'm sure you can learn a great deal from a champion-ranked trainer such as yourself. You bet, sir! Oh, that reminds me, since you're new to training Pokemon, there's an app you'll definitely need. You have a smartphone, right? Let me see it for a sec. The Pokédex app was added to your Rotom phone. The Pokédex will automatically register any Pokemon you catch. I just put something together, and it's really fun that she gives you the Pokédex app. I don't know that it's really that big of a noticing thing, but it's just something that I now made a connection to, so I'll point it out when the time comes. Anyway, it's a must-have for Pokemon trainers. It's a super handy app. Our homeroom teacher, Mr. Jock, actually made it himself. Back in my day, Back in my day, we used ordinary paper and handwritten notes to compile our Pokédexes. It's quite the age we live in now. Oof. Filling out a Pokédex by hand? I can't even imagine how much work that would take. Ho ho ho. No, I suppose you can't. Yet no matter how much the times may change, the wonder of meeting new Pokémon never does. That is a truly timeless pleasure. And the more Pokémon that you encounter, the more you'll find yourself growing and changing. I hope you will both work hard to the goal of completing your own Pokédexes. Now, Miss Demona, I do still have a few matters to discuss with your parents. Could I depend on you to see Master Punfood to the academy? You would be doing me quite the favor. Of course, leave it to me! Then I leave him in your capable hands. All right, little one. It's time you and I were on our way. Fwah! There we go. Maybe I ought to make a little more time to work on my Pokédex along with all my battling. Oh, right! Speaking of Pokédexes, Punfood, you've probably never caught a wild Pokemon, right? I've caught plenty. I've, already completed this game's Pokédex. Anyway, I'll show you the ropes before I take you to the academy. Come with me! Alright then. We're gonna get the catching tutorial from Nemona. We can press the minus button to open our Pokédex, which brings us to Battle or Catch, compile your volumes. We just have Sprigatito right now, and this is our Pokédex so far. We can get rewards for filling out pages, but for now, let's just read Sprigatito's entry since we missed it before. The sweet scent its body gives off mesmerizes those around it. The scent grows stronger when the Pokemon is in the sun. Neat. Here you can find, if you look at Habitat, you can find their type information even if you hadn't caught one yet. Good stuff. And you cannot find Quaxley in the wild because it's a starter Pokemon. Anyway. Guess now we just follow Nemona as it says. Let's remember to grab the items, and also it is quiet and I'm not a fan of it. This game has some really good music, but it's just quiet right now. Anyway. Oh, Punfood. I hear that Nemona here will be taking you to school? That's right, ma'am. Leave it to me. So you've already managed to make a friend. And I read about all the wonderful teachers all the wonderful teachers you'll have looking after you at the school. Plus so many handy facilities you can use as much as you like. I'll add in your new friend, Nemona, and it sounds like your school life is shaping up to be fantastic. Now, you'll be staying in the school dorms, so I want you to promise me you'll eat proper meals. Here's a bit of spending money to start off with. I also packed a lunch for your first day. Mom, I'm not a kid anymore. Actually, I think we're canonically 12, I think. Right, Nemona, I think, is probably also 12 or maybe 13. It feels like she's slightly older than us, by a year maybe, you know. A dish made by sandwiching vegetables, meat, or other ingredients between two pieces of bread. It makes a fantastic meal when out on a picnic. You hear that? Hot dogs are not a sandwich because you don't put them between two pieces of bread. You could make a hot dog sandwich if you put your hot dog between two pieces of bread, but you put them in a bun, and a hot dog bun, which is not two pieces of bread, therefore it's not a sandwich. Pokemon's definition, not mine. Oh, and maybe you'd better take these too. More potions. Cool. I know every day in your new life is going to be full of exciting experiences far from home. Sure, I bet we're going to have a homecoming dance at the school. And it's probably not that far from home. Just try to savor them all, the good times and the hard times too. But if you ever want to come back home, you know your bed is always ready for you. Oh, all right then. You two had better be off, I suppose. Take care on the way to school. And there she goes. We're now officially adults in the eyes of the Pokemon world. I don't know if that's how it works, actually. Your mother's so nice, Punfood. Oh, but I was gonna teach you how to catch wild Pokemon. Come on, vamos! Alright then. It's wild Pokemon catching time. This way. Oh, I should have looked at this. I did not soft reset for a starter with a good nature. Hopefully it's good. I don't think that's HP up. I think it's normal HP. No, Quaxley would have had like 24, I think, as opposed to whatever. I'm a bit scared to look at the nature. Oh my god, that's actually good? It's not perfect. Like, ideally we want, like, either speed up, you know, we might want speed up and special attack down as opposed to special defense down, but attack is up is good. Okay, we didn't get stuck with a horrible nature, because this is the only Pokemon we can't catch, like, if it turns out to be bad, you know? And I guess you unlock Nature Mints, like, not too far, like, not too close to the end of the game, so we could use Nature Mints. They're just expensive, so whatever. Yeah, what's his best? Scattered thing. That looks like its best IV is in speed, so hopefully this thing is good. I mean, it should be. Attack up, you know, is pretty good. The special defense down is a bit worrisome since we're already struggling, but, you know, like on defenses a little bit. But here we are on Poco Path. Alright, this here is Poco Path. It's the path that leads to adventure for you and me. Out here, things are different than in town. You're gonna see wild Pokemon out and about. They'll be on the path and in the grass and such. I feel my Nemona voice is just like me being energetic. But is that like not enough? Should I do more of like a, you know, get too close to one and you'll have to bat? No, that just sounds derogatory. We'll stick to just me but energetic for now. Get too close. Now I can't undo it. Get too close to one and you'll have to battle. But you got Sprigatito for that, right? And if you want to try and catch a Pokemon, you gotta use a good old Pokeball. I've got tons. Have a few. Have a few. Take them. Now. Oink, oink. Ooh, what luck. Time for some learning by doing. Try battling this Lechonk, Punfood. Alright then. Now, the thing about this is normally they ask you to weaken a... Oh, Nemona, cheers for you. They normally ask you to, like, weaken a Pokemon before throwing a Pokeball. Like, that's what they recommend. But you can just throw a Pokeball and it instantly catches. Chunk it up to luck, or the fact that it's coded so that the Pokemon around here, you know, are pretty much always instantly caught. But, you know, one Pokeball, and we can catch our Lechonk. So, this is Lechonk, the hog Pokemon. It's gonna hog the spotlight for a sec while I read its dex entry. This Pokemon spurns all but the finest of foods. Its body gives off an herb-like scent that bug Pokemon detest. Am I gonna nickname it? No. It's not going on the team, but we are gonna try to be catching every single Pokemon that we can find in the wild because we A, get rewards from our Pokedex, and B, world building and lore. I can read Pokedex entries to fill time. Ha! Oh, I thought that said haha, but that's Hala! That was awesome! You caught the very first Pokemon you went for! Sorry. I thought it said I'm currently... Anyway, I'm crummy when it comes to actually catching Pokemon. Maybe you should give me tips! Anyway, have some more Pokeballs, just in case. Not every catch works out. You obtain 10 Pokeballs. Weaken the Pokemon, then throw the Pokeball. Remember that and you'll be fine. Now go battle those wild Pokemon and catch some of them. Some of them, or them all? Not them all, because they dropped that tagline, I believe, starting like Gen 4, I think. Because like they realized, ooh, that's way too many to ask people to catch them all. Anyway, let's meet back up at that lighthouse over there. You can see our school from the top. Cool. Game mechanics and such. Oh, you're gonna just stand there? Cool. So, this is Pogo Path. It's basically the Route 1 of the game. When I first came here, I thought that, sure, it was open, but I thought we were hopefully gonna get more linear sections like this, but no, this is like the closest we get to linear, and even then it's only because we don't have any mobility options. But while we're here, I might as well catch some Pokemon. This is Tarantula, a Pokemon that I considered putting on the team because I felt like I didn't get to use one ever, and it maybe deserves some love. And I realized, no, it doesn't really deserve some love. If it's your favorite, that's great. I mean, I personally love the design. It's just got really bad stats that, like, unfortunately in an open world game like this, aren't even, like, good early game because you have so many options. I think, if anything, this Pokemon needs a new evolution in the next gen, honestly. But it's still cool. I really like the design, at least. It's the String Ball Pokemon. The thread it secretes from its rear is as strong as wire. The secret behind the thread's strength is the topic of ongoing research. Nope, not on the team yet. However, I will explain right now that I have determined what team I want to use for this game, and the team consists of 18 Pokemon. I chose to make a team of Pokemon containing at least one Pokemon representing every type. There might be repeat types, but like, you know, Sprigatito here is representing the grass type, but I'll have another Pokemon representing the type that it gains in its final evolution, as well. It's just one of those situations where, you know, I chose to make it like that so it's sort of the most fair. Anyway, Hoppip is one of my favorite Pokemon because I actually really like grass types. Oh, we learn Bite. I thought we got Hone Claws right now. Anyway, Bite's pretty good. It's dark type move. It's basically, you know, Scratch or Leafage, but for dark types with a chance to flinch. Anyway, Hoppip's the Cottonweed Pokemon. I really love this guy. Cool, cute, bad typing. It's quad weak to ice, and the stats and moveset aren't really anything to get excited about. And honestly, I made this region's team specifically to use Pokemon that were first discovered in this region. That's how I play Pokemon games. I try to make my teams based around Pokemon first discovered in that region, or regional forms or whatever. Anyway, Hoppip. Outside of cold regions, Hoppip can be found practically everywhere. This is because the wind carries this species all over the world. Do you want to give Hoppip a nickname? No. Alright. I will tell you an interesting story. When I got this game, I got to, like, this part of the game within, like, an hour and a half. I took my time reading stuff and exploring and whatnot. And around here, I found a shiny Scatterbug within my first hour and a half of playing the game. Maybe I should have put that up and seen if it was the first ever shiny in the game, you know, someone found. Probably not. There were probably people that got the game early or something. Oh, I can hit this to... Neat. But I was just wondering if maybe something similar might happen, you know, again, for this series. I don't know that it will. It probably won't. Shinies are pretty rare. 1 in 4,000 approximately. It's like 1 in 4,080 something, I think. I don't know. I heard it. Oh, right. You can find Pokemon up in the sky. Oh, there's so much to go explore. Unfortunately, they got rid of the shiny sound effect, so you won't know if a shiny spawned and or, you know, is near you. Kinda sucks. I'm fine with it since I don't really shiny hunt. I do think they should add in the shiny sound effect back. You know, especially because they, for some reason, added a couple Pokemon whose shinies aren't that different from their normal. So, yeah. Anyway, there's a Scatterbug. Let's catch one of you just to fill out the Pokedex. Go Pokeball! Scatterbug is probably one of my favorite bug types. More specifically, its evolutions. Well, actually, I probably like this more than its mid-stage. But I think it might just be, you know, X and Y Kalos bias influencing, you know, my enjoyment of Scatterbug. But I do generally think that Scatterbug just, I don't know, something about its, you know, rectangular eyes and black and white color scheme. Oh no, I said black and white, you know, after we did not get that announced, dude. Anyway, this Pokemon scatters poisonous powder to repel enemies. It's not a poison type. It will eat different plants depending on where it lives. It's a Scatterdust Pokemon. Pretty cool. Added to the party. I did consider maybe doing a playthrough of this game, since I already played through it on my own. A playthrough where I use, you know, any Pokemon in the Paldean regional decks. But I do really like the whole play through the game using just new Pokemon. Not new anymore. This game came out like 2 years ago. Well, I guess like a year ago, you know, plus a month or two. But we're in like the year that it'll turn to, whatever. Anyway, we're finding various stuff like Oranberries, Paralyzed Heals. Here's Fletchlings. We should be careful fighting them, though, because we're weak to flying. So, go Pokeball. Fletchling is also probably my favorite of the regional birds. Again, probably just bias from X and Y. I do think Rookidee and Corviknight, I was a bit opposed to them at first, but that was because I didn't use them on my team, and, like, my friends did, and then they would destroy me, and, like, when we would, you know, battle. They wouldn't destroy me, per se. It's just, like, I feel like part of it was Corviknight was shown off in the trailers. Excuse me. And I didn't want to use it because it was shown off in the trailers, and I wanted to see what other new Pokemon they had. But Corviknight has definitely grown on me. I do think Fletchling, very good. Very good design. I actually can't think of any regional birds aside from maybe Corviknight that I like better. Hoot Hoot's pretty close too. Anyway, Fletchling can be found in both rural and urban areas. They once had a huge territorial dispute with Squawkability. Fights broke out all over town. Pretty harmless, you know, the Pokedex entries aren't going to say anything too incredibly, you know, out there just yet. Anyway. Okay. If I find a shiny, I might consider adding it. But here is a fixed encounter with this game's Pikachu clone. This area has plenty of fixed encounters to make sure you can encounter a good selection of Pokemon, and this is one of them. The game's Pikachu clone, Pawmi. I used this guy back in my original playthrough of this game, and I plan on using him again. Well, I guess her. I think mine was male, so, you know. But yeah, I plan on using a Pawmi, you know, again. Simply because, honestly, I had to fill other slots. Like, I picked a Pokemon of every type, and Pawmi's an electric type, and I just had to fill an electric type with a Pokemon that I could actually see myself enjoying to use versus... As a player, I don't tend to go for status and setup too often. I enjoy Pokemon that learn a good variety of coverage moves, you know, and fill specific roles on the team. And I think Pawmi can do just that. The pads of its paws are electrically discharging organs. Pawmi fires electricity from its forepaws while standing unsteadily on its hind legs. That hints on the fact that this is the first Pikachu clone, aside from Pikachu itself, that evolves. And it evolves and gains a dual typing. It's still our electric rep, but Um, anyway, I believe I named my original one Palm. So, let's name this one, ooh, I need to pick a fitting name. Naming Pokemon is so hard. Oh, okay. That works perfectly. When in doubt, just translate English to the language of the, region, or the language of the, the language that is, commonly spoken in the area the region is based off of. In this case, English to Spanish. You know, in Alola, it's English to Hawaii. You know, in Galar, it's just English to English. Maybe Latin if you want to get fancy. But instead of Palm, we have Palmera, which I think works, you know. You could just name her Mera, but I like keeping the Palm aspect. Anyway, what's your summary? Special defense up, defense down. That's not bad. It's better than having an attack lowering nature. So let's add to the party, because our party's full, and bye-bye, little chunk. Okay. You can select your boxes from the pause menu at any time. But we got Palmifer, and we already looked at your no moves to remember just yet. We didn't damage you, so we can just put you up front, I guess. But yeah, you can access your boxes and change out what Pokemon you have at any time. Also, you notice I have this. That's because you buy it for all save files when you buy it. Anyway, we're going to have to train up Palmera. I should actually look up the pronunciation. Well, I can pronounce it however I want. It's a name. You know, it's just the spelling that's the same. That rhymes. Anyway, I should train up Palmera. Just get her... I like... It's important to train up multiple Pokemon in this game, because levels can go by pretty quick if you're fighting a bunch of stuff. Hey, Pun Food! You're getting the hang of how to catch Pokemon, okay? Let me see. So far you caught... a Gal! Whoa, what was that? Go. I've never heard that kind of cry before. Could be some strong Pokemon or something. I say we find whatever made that cry. Let's take a look around, Pun Food. Just be careful. There's a kind of unsafe cave not far from here, so steer clear. And I know your Rotom phone can help keep you safe, but watch your step by these cliffs anyway. Well, alright then. We'll investigate that cry and level up Palmera next time. But for now, my name has been and will be tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. And it always will be Pun Food. I've started putting these little funny quips. I guess they're not always funny or quips. They're sometimes just expansions of what I have to say. But I've started putting them closer to when I do the outro, just so that more people maybe stick around and watch the whole time. But I still want it to be more of like a, if you know it's there, and you stick around for it type deal, you know, and other people are missing out. That's the kind of vibe I'm going for, but I also need to make sure that it's still accessible, because I don't want people clicking off like when there's still a minute left on the video.